You are listening to Stories from the Heart, inspiring tales of life, love, and learning, presented by the Camarillo Healthcare District. In this episode, Elizabeth Olson of Thousand Oaks shares a story about her transformation from glistening English rose to fierce triathlon competitor, a health journey inspired by her father and nurtured by friends who continue to hold her accountable to a healthy lifestyle.
With the exception of a train ride across the Southwest desert, in 1976, when I was 11 and my sister was 10, our dad and his best friend rode their bicycles from Redlands, California to Marblehead, Massachusetts. My dad was and is very athletic, playing basketball and running track in high school, joining a softball team in his 30s, running marathons in his 40s, and when he retired in his late 50s, he started bicycling again and taking daily 2 to 3 mile walks. Today at 80, he continues to walk daily. Athletically, my sister is like our dad. She played 4 sports competitively in middle school and played basketball and ran cross country and track in high school. She was featured on the front page of our local newspaper sports section in her senior year in an article that described the record she had broken. Me, I'm more like our mother, a delicate English rose that needs to be kept out of direct sunlight and prefers to glisten, not sweat. My pursuits are indoors. In middle school, I wrote a long-form poem and had a line on each page of our yearbook. In high school, I was part of the yearbook team and also a member of the speech and debate team. In college, my sister ran track, and I limited my outdoor activities to riding my bicycle across campus. After college, in the early 90s, I finally joined an indoor gym and began working out early in the morning in the hopes of meeting a stockbroker. I didn't, so I moved to the South Bay and took up walking along the Strand, looking for a cute, charming, or amusing first encounter between me and a romantic partner. In other words, a meet cute, and at sunset preferably. In my late 30s, I was still in pursuit of a meet cute when my sister struck up a conversation with a man she met at LAX while awaiting a plane to Norfolk, Virginia. He too was going to Virginia Beach to run in a half marathon. On the flight back to LA, my sister decided to find out if Dave could be the meet cute I was looking for. She asked him if he was single. He was. If he had a girlfriend. He didn't. And most importantly, if he would be interested in meeting me. He was. Back in the Conejo Valley, my sister told me about Dave, and after some internet sleuthing, I was able to find Dave's number at work. My sister had lost it. And we went out on our first date in late September 2001. Soon after our relationship began, Dave invited me to a party put on by the Santa Clarita Runners Club. Everyone was very enthusiastic, energetic, and teased Dave about the great views he had as one of the slower runners. Wanting to ensure my backside, which had spent too much time sitting in a desk chair, was as appealing as those he saw on his Sunday morning runs, it was time for me to be like my dad and start walking. And when Dave and his running club friends signed up for a 5K, I would sign up too. One cold morning in October, I stood outside the gates of Magic Mountain next to Dave, with a bib number in hand. His friend Brian asked, "Are you doing this race, Elizabeth?" "Rumor has it," I answered as I pinned on the bib and made my way to the starting line. About an hour later, after I crossed the finish line with a big smile on my face, Brian high-fived me and Dave gave me a hug and a pat on the backside. As our relationship progressed, wanting to spend more time together as a couple, I decided in 2004 to join Dave in training for the Rock and Roll Half Marathon in Virginia Beach. Dave had joined the San Fernando Valley chapter of Team in Training, which raises money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society while training for an endurance event. I joined Team in Training too, raising money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and began forming bonds with my teammates as we trained every Saturday morning for the event. In September, Dave and I traveled to Virginia Beach, and I completed my first half marathon. The average pace for a half marathon is between 15 and 20 minutes per mile, or 3 miles per hour. At that pace, it would take about 4 hours and 22 minutes to complete a 13.1 mile race. I finished in 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 7 seconds, an average pace of 14 minutes, 40 seconds per kilometer, a full hour faster than the fastest average pace. Not bad for my first race. Dave and I joined the team again in 2005, but broke up a few months before Virginia Beach. The race was hard, but knowing the funds I raised were helping people like my friend Audrey, our honored teammate and a 2-time blood cancer survivor, made getting across the finish line a bit easier. Breaking up was good for my pace too, as I finished in 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 12 seconds, an average pace of 14 minutes, 18 seconds per kilometer, which was 5 minutes faster than the previous year. I'd formed strong bonds with my team and training coaches and mentors, and just because Dave and I had broken up didn't mean I was breaking up with team and training. I was asked to be a mentor for the next season, which meant that I would help teammates raise money for the event they were training for, the LA Marathon. I'd also be helping my mentees walk 20 miles one Saturday morning a few weeks before the marathon. If me, the delicate English rose, was going to be exposed to that much sunshine and sweat, I'd better earn a medal. So I signed up for the marathon and walked in the streets of Los Angeles alongside my mentees. By 2008, I had completed 3 marathons, LA Marathon twice, and Rock and Roll San Diego, one more marathon than my dad. I'd joined the San Fernando Valley chapter of Team in Training with Dave, but I learned at the marathon celebration party that there was a chapter of Team in Training right here in Ventura County. I joined the Ventura County team as a mentor and was welcomed warmly by Lois, Phyllis, Ginger, Jennifer, and Sue Ellen. We spent many hours together creating training courses, organizing fundraising events like gift wrapping at the Oaks Mall during the holiday season, and talking for hours while training for half and full marathons in Seattle, Arizona, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C. In 2013, 37 years after my dad rode his bicycle across the United States, I cycled 35 miles around Lake Tahoe with Team in Training as part of the America's Most Beautiful bike ride. To begin watering my English rose consistently, I took up swimming and signed up for a triathlon through Team in Training. I had my own front page newspaper experience in 2014 when I was training for my first triathlon, and a photo of me in a swimsuit appeared in the lifestyle section of the Ventura County Star, headlining an article about what the last of the baby boomers were doing to celebrate their 50th birthdays. I met Vince, Scott, Tim, Tiffany, Susie, and the Lava Mamas while training and competing in triathlons in Washington, D.C. and Hawaii, which earned me a Team in Training Triple Crown Award, having raised money for and completing a half marathon, triathlon, and a cycling event. In 2020, The weekend before the pandemic shut down the world, I completed my last team in training event by walking the charity half at the LA Marathon in memory of my friend Audrey, who had recently died from brain, not blood, cancer. The Ventura County chapter of Team in Training is currently inactive, but Phyllis, Ginger, Lois, and I continue to walk together every Saturday morning, solving each other's and the world's problems. Phyllis is great at finding us events to do. Lois is still our coach, planning how many miles we need to complete, and Ginger is always willing to lead the way up the hills. I'm in charge of picking out where we'll eat breakfast after a walk. Our Saturdays always feel more complete when Sue Ellen and Jen join us too. My dad and sister may have been the athletes in our family growing up, but through training for half marathons, cycling events, and triathlons, now I too am one of the athletes in our family. And one Saturday morning, Ginger, Phyllis, Lois, and I will solve all the world's problems during our walk.
Thank you for listening to Stories from the Heart, inspiring tales of life, love, and learning, presented by the Camarillo Healthcare District. If you would like to share your story, please visit camhealth.com and fill out our form under Share Your Story. You'll work with a storytelling coach to fine-tune your story for broadcast. We are looking for people to share health or caregiver journeys, to talk about personal experience, moments in time, and lessons learned while navigating life. These life stories will paint a visual picture with words. They should be 5 to 10 minutes long and must be primarily about the storyteller and their truths, experiences, and emotions.